Good afternoon, and thank you all for attending today. We invited you here to provide additional information regarding the arrest of two suspects, Blanca Escobar Roblero and Wilmer Roblero, who have been charged with the November fatal hit and run of a 12-year-old juvenile whom the family identified as Samantha Briggs. The family of Samantha Briggs is with us today, and speaking on their behalf is her older sister, Takesha Holmes. Thank you very much for attending today. RPD's command staff members, Deputy Chief Oosterhout and Leschetti, Chief of Staff Amanda Roll, Majors Derek Ford, Major Sean Anderson are also in attendance. Speaking on behalf of the Special Operations Division, which houses the Crash Reconstruction Unit, is Major Rico Boyce. Also with us today is Senior Officer Lee Granger, one of the members of the Crash Reconstruction Unit, and one of several diligent investigators assigned to this case. And of course, Chief Estella Patterson. At the end of our comments today, we will take a few questions related to this case, but please keep in mind that this case is an ongoing investigation and some information may not be available. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Patterson.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. As Lieutenant Borneo stated, we are here to share information regarding the investigation of the hit-and-run death of Samantha Briggs. Our deepest condolences continue to be with the family. The entire Raleigh community is mourning over her loss. I'm so thankful for the strength of this community, though, because we would not have been able to solve this crime and bring the alleged suspects to justice without the diligence of the members of the public. With small bits of information here and there that help us put everything together. Also to the persistence and the determination of an outstanding team of men and women from our Crash Investigation Unit, as well as our Detective Division. They pieced it all together for us. I'm extremely proud of my team, starting with Deputy Chief Oosterhout and also Major Rico Boyce and his team for the work on this case. In fact, when the case went cold, they kept bringing it up. They kept saying to me, Chief, we got to keep moving. We got to figure out a way to solve this case. And Officer Peroni is not here with us. She was the main investigator on the case, but her diligence and her determination is why we were able to find the suspects in this case. I have stated repeatedly that my goal and my purpose here in Raleigh is to make it the safest city in the country. As a police department, we will do our best to prevent crime from occurring, but when it does, we will do even more in determining who is responsible for the crime, and then taking every measure that we can to locate and apprehend the responsible parties. That is what occurred in this case, and I publicly want to thank the public and the community for stepping up and doing what was right and sharing information. And I continue to urge those that live in this region that if you see crime, if you see something, say something. If you have information that a crime has occurred, please contact the Raleigh Crime Stoppers at 919-996-1193, or you can contact us by online at raleighcrimestoppers.org. We encourage you to leave your tips anonymously, and we pay cash. We pay cash for tips. The weather's starting to warm up here, and we know that we will see crime begin to rise. In fact, we're already starting to see some crime elements forming in our community. We need the help of the public and the community to keep our great city safe. You did it in this instance to bring justice for Samantha Briggs, and you can do it in many other cases for our victims. At this time, I'm going to ask Major Boyce to come forward to talk about the investigation and the great work that his officers and our detectives did in solving this crime. Major Boyce.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon. I'm Major Rico Boyce, and I oversee our Special Operations Division. On November 25th, 2022, at approximately 7:30 p.m., a fatal hit-and-run collision involving a pedestrian occurred in the 6500 block of Hillsborough Street. The victim of this collision was a 12-year-old girl, Samantha Briggs. Officer Peroni of the Raleigh Police Department Crash Reconstruction Unit responded to the scene and began her investigation. There were very limited physical and video evidence. Officer Peroni located a small chrome piece of evidence near the crash scene that belonged to a 2004 to 2011 white Honda Civic. With about 1,400 of those vehicles registered in Wake County alone, locating the suspect was a daunting task. In the coming weeks, Officer Perone applied for multiple search warrants, and an information checkpoint was conducted at the scene, but new information still needed to be uncovered. On May 12th of this year, the Crash Reconstruction Unit conducted another information checkpoint with the assistance of the Raleigh Police Department Traffic Enforcement Unit and our Public Affairs Office. On May 16th of this year, we were provided a tip from a person who had seen a story on the news and had possible information about a white Honda Civic in Kittrell, North Carolina. Officer Perone followed up on this information and was able to locate the vehicle in a tow lot in Lewisburg, North Carolina. It was completely burned. However, Officer Perone located a vehicle identification number which indicated the vehicle was registered to an address in Cary, North Carolina, approximately 1.5 miles from the crash scene. Through investigative means, Officer Perone developed a possible suspect. After meeting with the Wake County District Attorney's Office, Officer Perone obtained warrants for the arrest of Blanca Escobar Roblero for felony hit and run involving a death and obstruction of justice. Officer Perone was also able to obtain a warrant for the arrest of Roblero's husband, Wilmer Roblero, for accessory after the fact and obstruction of justice for destroying the vehicle. Both Blanca and Wilmer were taken into custody on May 31st of this year in Cary, North Carolina. The investigation is ongoing as potentially more charges are forthcoming for other individuals. Officer Perone is commended for her work and dedication to this case. Technical assistance response detectives for Raleigh Police Department were instrumental in helping in this case. The Crash Reconstruction Unit would like to thank the following for their assistance: the Raleigh Police Department Traffic Enforcement Unit, the Selective Enforcement Unit, Lieutenant Borneo in the Public Affairs Office, Officer Vincent DeBonis, Officer Leah Eagles, Officer Kyle Thompson, Officer Gabby Caceres, Officer Daniel Mills, recently retired Lieutenant Jeff White, Sergeant Jamie Rigsby, Lieutenant Peter Manukas, and Captain Sean Hoolan. As a commander of the Special Operations Division, I personally want to thank our law enforcement partners that assisted with this investigation. That's the Cary Police Department, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, and the Wake County District Attorney's Office. Thank you. At this time, we have a few comments from Samantha's sister, Ms. Holmes.
First off, I want to start by saying thank you to everyone that, helped with my sister's case. Also give thanks to the person who gave the tips to lead in my sister's arrest. Also the Raleigh community, my family and friends for not giving up on this case, because my sister was one of many cases in Raleigh involving hit and run. Nothing will bring my sister back, but this is a new beginning for me and my family. Although we're enduring hardship, we are very grateful for everyone that has helped and gave a tip and shared a post, anything. Even though justice has been served, my heart is still trying to figure out how to heal. These last 6 months have been very hard for us due to having no evidence to rely on. And even though I am grateful that it's solved, it will never bring the void of not having my sister. I see justice for Samantha as getting them prosecuted in the fullest extent in the law. And to the two that committed this crime, I hope you get everything you deserve. You left my sister to die, a child, a little girl the day after her 12th birthday. You just took her away. Our hearts are not in a forgiving space right now, and I'm so sorry for that. And I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you to whoever put the tip in, because without you, we wouldn't be here right now. And it's really been a long 6 months without my sister, and it's been hard. And I just want to leave it off by saying thank you again to everybody that pitched in, everybody that helped. It really means a lot to me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you, Dakisha. At this time, we will open it up to any questions for the family or for our PD. Go ahead, Chelsea.
Okay, I guess this could be for Chief Patterson or maybe with the Special Operations Unit. Yesterday when we were in court, one of the prosecutors said not only was it a tip that led them to the burned vehicle with that piece of plastic that you mentioned, but it was also cell phone data that they had from the area that pinged with Blanca's car. Can you expand on that? Perhaps it was multiple things that led you guys in the right direction?
Yes, it was, and you are correct. The cell phone data was important as well, and anytime we have an incident like that, we're always looking at cell phone. That's reliable data that can put a person on the scene. So yes, we did rely on some of that.
So how many hit and run cases are you guys actively investigating? And is this, you know, the information checkpoints a usual thing to keep coming back to and do?
Right. I don't have the numbers, exact numbers with me today on the number of hit and run cases that are still open, but I will tell you that this case was just so special to us because of the age of this victim. And again, the team was relentless. They said that we can't let this one go. We got to continue to do this. So doing the checkpoints really came out of Special Operations, our Crash Investigation Unit. They wanted to continue to do them in coordination with our Public Affairs Office. And I remember just kind of sitting at the table talking about it, like we've got to do more, we've got to do something. And they said, let us go out and do these checkpoints. So yeah, while this case was a little bit different, and it is something that we will do with other cases as well, but this one was really dear to our heart. We really felt we needed to move on it and move on it quickly.
Good, Chelsea.
Okay, so what can you say about May 12th with that checkpoint? Can you, as much as you can release, Chief, about how a person, a tipster, was watching news coverage and saw something and did this person know these people? What can you release regarding that?
That Major Boyce come up and speak to that.
Yes, sir. We did a checkpoint initially right after this case happened, and we got a lot of tips, but nothing really to break the case. On May 12th, it's just the right time, right place. The person was watching local news and said, I think I have something to offer. So it was all about timing on May 12th that that person called in and provided a piece of information that was vital in identifying the vehicle and identifying where we need to go look for it.
So he led you to the burned vehicle?
He did.
Janice, did you have a question?
Yes, you guys talked about possible charges, additional charges. Do you believe more people were involved and aided this couple?
I will say, that's a great question. I will say this is an ongoing investigation. And if it leads us to other individuals that are responsible in any way for the death of Samantha, we're gonna consult with the Wake County DA's office, and we're gonna see if charges are appropriate. But we're still looking. We're still looking. There's still some information that we might need in this case. So we might charge some other people if that's the case.
And we can add to that. That's why it's so crucial that members of the public, if you know anything, if you have any information, that you come forward. We can't stress it enough. Members of the public really are the ones who have the information about what is occurring in our community. The more that you can share that, the more that you can let us know what's going on, we're grateful for that. It helps us to solve cases.
Good, Chelsea, did you have a follow-up?
It's follow-up, yeah. So also yesterday in court, it was noted that your two suspects, the husband and wife from Cary, when you initially interviewed these folks, they admitted to hitting the little girl and also covering up the crime. Can you expand on that?
During our interview with one of the suspects, they did take responsibility for being involved in this case.
Time for one more question. Go ahead, sir.
So is it any way that the charge is going to be up from here to murder, or are we still waiting to see how far that goes?
Our investigators are in constant contact with the Wake County District Attorney's Office, and if the charges be upgraded, that would be a decision that the DA will make. So we'll keep the family updated on the progress of the investigation and any potential charges.
One more
One more,
follow
sir.
right quick. Well, what she just, I'm picking back off what she was saying. If they admitted to it, do that mean the other person get to go free, or being that one person already said, hey, I did it?
Right. There's multiple, well, the two people that we have in custody right now share responsibility in causing the death of Samantha. And charges, like I say, this is ongoing. If there's additional charges that will be forthcoming, it'll come from the Wake County District Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Major. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you.
Absolutely.